Good morning. Scott Ritter and Gonzalo Lira. Now, Scott Ritter is absolutely 100% adamant that Gonzalo Lira is an asset for the Ukrainian Secret Service. Now, he thinks this because early on in the year, Scott put something out that if I ever disappear, you have to think the worst because he's in Ukraine. Gonzalo's in Ukraine. Scott's in America. They've appeared on the Duran together, and but Scott is now 100% adamant, and he's saying it publicly. He's got no qualms about saying it, which is fair enough. That he reckons Gonzalo Lira is now an asset for the Ukrainian Secret Service. Now, what happened was Gonzalo disappeared for about 5 or 6 days, and everybody assumed the worst, that he'd been taken by the Ukrainian Secret Service and probably just sort of terminated. But he turned back up, and he didn't look that too much worse for wear, to be quite honest. His tech looked very, very similar to what it was before, and he said that he'd been taken by the Ukrainian Secret Service. He'd been interrogated to see if he was a Russian asset. They accused him of being a Russian asset, and they then, after the interrogation, they'd let him go, but they'd removed all his equipment. Then they told him he couldn't have any of his channels or his internet stuff, his old internet stuff, so he had to come out with some new internet stuff and everything like that. Now, Scott's feeling on this is that in this situation, in a war situation in Ukraine, especially with the Ukrainian Secret Service, if they take you because they think you are a Russian asset, and if they believe that you are a Russian spy, basically, it's curtains. The only way that they would release him is if he agreed to become an asset for them. Yeah. And bish bash bosh, so therefore 1, 2, 3, Scott Ritter believes that Gonzalo Lira is now a Ukrainian Secret Service asset, and he will not have anything to do with him. He will, he doesn't want to go anywhere near him, doesn't want anything to do with him. Fair enough. Now, I think Scott's wrong, and I'll tell you why. And I'm not an expert or anything like that, but I'm pretty good at working out the dynamics between different people, different groups. Now, Scott, both the Alexes from the Duran and Gonzalo are almost like a little sort of odd clique in school. Say in a school class, Scott the jock, Alex, both the Alexes are sort of like fairly, Alex is sort of like the from Athens, is the cool kid, another cool kid. Alexander is the cool kid's best mate, and Gonzalo wants to be in the cool gang with the three of them, and everything like that. And I don't get me wrong, Gonzalo Lira does say some really quite interesting stuff. I'm going to go over onto the beach today. Tide will be out, but it'd be interesting to go over there. And but I've got a funny feeling that Scott Ritter is sort of incredibly likable. Both the Alexes are very, very likable. And Gonzalo Lira is a little bit creepy. I'm not slagging him off. I'm not, I don't dislike him, I don't think, but he does have that little bit of creep about him. Whether he can help it or not, I don't know. But there you go. There's the sea. There's the ocean. And he has that little bit of creep about him. And I think that he wants to be ingratiated. And my thoughts on the whole matter are this. That Gonzalo Lira did put out a thing saying that if I disappear for more than 24 hours, you're going to have to think the worst, that I've been taken by things. So he set that up. He set that up. And this is where I live, by the way. Yep, seagulls crying over there. He set that up, and then he disappears for 4 or 5 days. And then he comes back. And he says he's been taken by the thing, and they interrogated him. They realised that he wasn't what they thought he was and let him go. Which is sort of like something that doesn't happen in that sort of thing. So my dogs are complaining because I'm sitting down in the sun. And I think he did it. He disappeared. He faked his own sort of like thing to sort of like ingratiate himself with the cool kids. Make him, get his, oh look, you've been through this and you've been through that. Because let's face it, Scott Ritter's got quite a lot of he's been through it. He's got some real life experiences and everything like that. Like, and he is the sort of like ultimate, he's like the football team captain. Like he's the jock, but he's a sort of intelligent jock, really, really super intelligent jock. And I think Gonzalo Lira felt threatened by him. And basically wanted to sort of like make himself ingratiate him. So he just disappeared. He did a Jesse Smollett type thing to make himself a bit of a hero. And I think it backfired. I think it backfired completely. Because when you lie, I think he told a lie. I think Gonzalo Lira told a lie. And it backfired on him, as lies do. And so either way, I don't think Scott would be too chuffed with him. I got a funny feeling that the Ukrainian secret services don't worry about somebody like geeky like Gonzalo Lira, because he didn't have any real information that he could pass to the Russians or anything like that. He was in his flat in Kharkiv, and I don't think he had any real intel that he could pass in, and I'm sure the Russians have got agents embedded right the way through Ukraine that can give them very, very, very valid information. Yeah. Anyway, that's my thought. I don't think Gonzalo Lira is a Ukrainian secret service asset. I think he's more of a bit of a liar. But he actually has some good views and some good thoughts. You take care and tell me what you think. How far off the mark am I? Bye.